This video will go over the 5 file folder games that I created to go along with my 5 lesson plans, going over the food groups. My day 1 file folder game is called Puzzling Food Groups. This game will assess the student's abilities to recall the names of the five food groups, and then what calories are, and then what the names of each of the macronutrient groups are. The picture in the center shows what the game looks like without being completed. The 4 different puzzles state things such as there are 5 major blank blank, they are, and then it has 5 more blanks. And the second one says our bodies get blank from the blank found in food. The third one says calories can be broken down into blank groups called blank. And the last one says the 3 types of macronutrients are blank, blank, blank. And so what the student would do is they would follow the directions over to the right, which is actually found in an envelope on the back of the file folder game. And they'll take this out and take all the pieces out. And what they do is they have to match the correct piece to which puzzle it belongs with. And then also to the right is my objectives card, which lists the objectives of this game, the materials needed, and the modifications. And the modification I made is that instead of putting all the puzzle pieces into one envelope, you would separate the puzzle pieces into 4 different envelopes, and then write puzzle 1, 2, 3, 4 on the different envelopes, so that they know which pieces go with which specific puzzle. The picture on the left shows the different envelopes that the pieces would be found in, whether it's just regular pieces or the 4 different modified envelopes. And then the picture in the center shows what the file folder game looks like once completed and once all the pieces are in the right place. And then on the far right is pictures of the 4 answer keys that the teacher would hold on to and use to assess the students and assess their understanding. Or they could even give the students the answer keys, let them hold on to them, and the student can check their own work once they're finished. My day 2 file folder game is called Guess Who, the Fruit and Veggie Edition. So what the student will do is, following the directions located in an envelope glued to the back of the file folder game, what they'll do is they'll read the riddle, and then they'll open up the envelope that's labeled pictures and open up the envelope that's labeled names. And once they read the riddle, they'll get an idea of what fruit or vegetable answers that riddle, and they'll search through the pictures, search through the names, and find the correct one and stick it under the corresponding riddle. For example, one of the riddles says, I am an orange vegetable, I am long and have a bunch of green leaves on one end. I am a bunny rabbit's favorite snack. Who am I? So what the student would do is they would look through the pictures, find the carrot, stick the carrot on there, and then find the word carrot and stick that on there. Or as listed on my objectives card located on the right above the directions, the modification I made is instead of the student having to do both the picture and the name separately, I made modified picture pieces which have the picture and the name actually located on one card, so they only have to know either the picture or the name, not both. The picture on the left shows what the file folder game looks like once completed with the regular pieces, which are both the picture pieces and the name pieces separate. And then the picture on the right shows the game completed with the modified pieces, which have both the picture and the name listed together. The picture on the right shows the 4 different envelopes that come with the file folder game. The first one is pictures, which has just the pictures that the students will attach, and then the smaller one that says names goes along with that, which has the names of the fruits and vegetables which the students will attach. And then the modified pieces have the modification pieces I made, which have both the picture and the name listed on them. and then the last envelope, which are the answer cards, which are shown on the left. And either the teacher or the student can use these to assess their knowledge. So what they do is it just has the riddle listed, and then over to the right or underneath, it has the correct picture and name of the fruit or vegetable that goes with that riddle. The day 3 file folder game I created is called Let's Go to the Store, and it focuses on protein and dairy foods. The picture in the center shows what this game would look like once the student has opened it and straightened out all the strings. And then the picture on the right shows the objectives card, which also has the materials needed and also the modifications that can be made for this game. And then also the directions are found in an envelope glued to the back of the file folder game. So what the students do in this game is they look at the pictures attached to the strings and they decide what animal this food comes from. And so they'll take that and then stick it into the corresponding grocery cart that's next to the animal they think that food comes from. And then once all of the foods are in a grocery cart and they've decided where they go, they'll look at the foods in each grocery cart and decide, are all of these foods dairy foods? Are all of these foods protein foods? Or do we have both protein and dairy foods located in this cart? And then once they've decided that, they'll circle the correct answer under each of the 4 animals. And then from there, they'll raise their hand and then the teacher will come check their work for them. The picture on the right shows what this game looks like once completed. So some of the pieces can go in more than one basket actually. Like for example, there's 2 pieces of cheese, which one goes in the cow and one goes in the goat. And then there's 2 milks and one goes in the cow and one goes in the goat. And then there's a picture of ribs, which can actually go in either the pig or the cow cart. And then I have circled in an expo marker the correct answer to the question that's located below each of the animals. And then the picture on the left shows what the modification for this game I made was, which is a picture key. So since the pictures don't have the names of what type of food this is on them, I created a key so that if students are unsure or unaware of a certain type of food, they can refer back to the key and see what that food is. For example, if they saw the ribs and they're like, I'm not really sure what this is, they can refer to the key and say, oh, okay, those are ribs. I know this belongs in this basket. And then they place that in there. These pictures show the answer key to the game. And so what I've done is just reprinted the pictures of the animals with either protein, dairy, or both below them and have highlighted the correct answer. And then I've just typed out goat grocery basket, chicken grocery basket, and so on, and placed the pictures that should be placed in this basket. And then I made a little side note next to the ribs saying that this can either go in the cow or the pig basket, depending on which one the child knew or was more familiar with. And then either the student can check their work with this or the teacher could check their work with this. The day 4 file folder game is called Take It or Leave It, Good and Bad Grains. So once you open up this file folder game, it'll be like the picture shown in the middle. On the left, you have an empty grocery cart, and then on the right, you have an empty grocery shelf. And then the picture on the right shows the directions the student would follow, as well as the objectives card, which lists the objectives for this activity, plus the materials needed, plus the modifications you can make for this activity. So what the students are to do is they're to open the envelope labeled grain pictures and empty it out. And then using what they know about the different types of grains, like whole wheat grains versus refined grains, they're going to decide, they'll pick up a picture of the grain and decide, is this a good grain or a bad grain? Should I take it with me? Is it something I should eat more? Or should I leave it at the store because it's something I need to eat less of? And then they'll stick these pictures onto the corresponding Velcro pieces on either the grocery cart or the grocery shelf. The picture on the left shows the envelope that the game pieces are located in, and then the picture in the middle shows what this game looks like once completed. Once completed, it might not look exactly like this since the students can stick the different pictures on different Velcro pieces on each side, but they should, no matter what, have only those pieces on the leave it side and only those pieces on the take it side. And then on the right, you'll see the bottom picture that says picture key is the modification I made, which the students could use as a guide for foods if they're not sure about what this food is meant to be. Like they look at the bagel and they're like, well, this kind of looks like a donut, but I already have a donut over here. I wonder what this could be. They could look back at the picture key and say, oh, it's a bagel. And since they see that it's kind of a darker brown, they might know that it's multigrain, which is better, so we should take it. So they'll put it on the take it side in the grocery basket. And then above that picture, we have the answer key, which it just says back to the shelf, and then it shows all the pictures that should be on the grocery shelf, and then goes in the cart, shows all the pictures that should be taken into the grocery cart. The day 5 file folder game I made is called What's Missing from My Plate. And this kind of covers the My Plate picture that we will go over in the 5th lesson, and shows how the 5 food groups correspond to each other and relate in proportions. So the picture in the middle shows what this game looks like whenever it's not completed yet. And on the right, you have the objectives card as well as the materials needed, and then the modifications you can make to this game. And then also the directions card, which is located in an envelope glued to the back of the folder. So in this game, what the student does is they'll take all the pieces out of the envelope labeled food pieces, and then they'll look at each of the 6 plates located on the file folder game, and using what they know about the My Plate portions, they'll decide what food group they're missing from this plate. For example, on plate number 1, they'll see piece of toast, and they'll be like, okay, I know bread is a grain, so we have a grain. They'll see an egg. Okay, I know egg is a protein, so we have a protein. They see potatoes. Potatoes is a vegetable, so I know we have vegetables. And they see a glass of milk. They're like, okay, that's dairy. What am I missing? So they've gone through all 5 food groups. They realize they're missing fruit. So they'll go through the pieces and find a piece of fruit that they can stick onto the fruit section. And there's actually 2 pieces of fruit that can go on 2 different plates, either plate 1 or plate 6. So they can put either pieces of fruit on there, doesn't matter. But once they do this, they'll either check their work with the answer key themselves or call on the teacher to have them do it. The picture on the left shows the little envelope that the food pieces are located in, as well as the directions, which are glued to the back. The picture on the right shows what this file folder game looks like once completed. So as you'll see, you just stick on the pieces in the correct spot. For example, on plate number 4, they had a banana, which is a fruit, a muffin, which is a type of grain, and then carrots and celery, which would be which are both vegetables, and then also a little thing of nuts and seeds, which is a protein. And what they were missing was the dairy food group, so what the student would place there would be the cup of yogurt that was located in the food pieces. They would stick that there. These pictures show the answer key that would be provided with this game, and either the student or the teacher could use this answer key to check the work of the student. And then the modification that I made for this game, I don't actually have a picture of it in this presentation, but you've all seen it before. It's the adaptation project I created where the student gets the actual plate, and it has the food groups listed and shows the proportions of them. So the student could use this to guide them in making decisions about which food group they're missing, or if they're unsure about what type of food group or what food group this specific food came from, they could refer to the adaptation project plate that I made, and they could decide which food group that food belongs in.